And then on the 7th week, what happened? The Supreme Buddha was sitting under another tree called the Rajayatana tree. And then on the last day, what happened? On the last day, the Supreme Buddha got up from his meditation and 2 merchants came to see him. Do you remember the names of those 2 merchants? Yes, they were known as Tapasu and Balluka. Now, they came and what did they do? Yes, they came and offered the Supreme Buddha. What did they offer? Do you remember? They offered honey and popped rice seeds as food for the Supreme Buddha. That was the first time the Supreme Buddha had something to eat after 49 days. For those 49 days, what provided him the nourishment he needed? Yes, it was that milk rice that was offered by Sujata, that milk rice that the Supreme Buddha had before becoming enlightened, that provided him all the nourishment he needed for the 49 days. So in this way, meritorious children, the Supreme Buddha spent the first 7 days in different places doing many different things. Now, after the first 7 weeks, the Supreme Buddha returned back to the goat herd's banyan tree where he spent the 5th week. Now, he sat under the tree and confusing thoughts overcame his mind. He thought, I have realized a Dhamma that's very deep. It's very delicate, it's very subtle. It's not easily understood by beings because in the ordinary world, these beings find pleasure by looking at beautiful things. They find pleasure by hearing beautiful sounds. They find pleasure by smelling good odors, good fragrances. In this way, these beings find pleasure through sensual pleasures. And so the Supreme Buddha thought, these beings delight in sensual pleasures. They are so attached to pleasing their senses. They are so attached to pleasing their eyes, their ears, their nose, their tongue, their body and mind. So the Supreme Buddha thought, if I teach them the Dhamma that I have realized so difficultly, I don't think that they'll understand. The Supreme Buddha thought, it'll only be an exhaustion for me. Why do you think our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, thought in this way? Meritorious children, our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, went through a lot of trouble in trying to find true happiness. Now you remember the path the Supreme Buddha took in finding Nibbana, the way out of rebirth, the way out of this cycle of birth and death. For 6 long years, the Supreme Buddha gave his body an immense amount of pain, thinking that's the way that leads to Nibbana. And then the Supreme Buddha realized that that's not the way. And then the Supreme Buddha turned to doing breathing meditation. And so after defeating the Mara, after a big fight with Mara, finally the Supreme Buddha was able to defeat the Mara and understand, realize the truth about life. And this truth is very difficult to understand. The normal person cannot understand it. You have to develop your mind, concentrate this mind, calm your mind, and then when you get to hear the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma, then only can you realize the truth about life. So the Supreme Buddha realized this. The Supreme Buddha saw that the ordinary person's mind is filled with desire, filled with hatred, thoughts of anger, jealousy. It's filled with all these unwholesome thoughts. And the Supreme Buddha saw that it's quite difficult for a normal person to understand the deep Dhamma the Supreme Buddha realized. That's why the Supreme Buddha thought it'll only exhaust him. It'll only make him tired if he tries to teach the Dhamma to others. Did the Supreme Buddha think in this way because he was selfish? No, it was not because he was selfish. The Supreme Buddha saw that the deep Dhamma is very difficult to understand. And so at this time, meritorious children, a Brahma named Sahampati saw this thought in the Supreme Buddha. Who saw this thought? A Brahma named Sahampati, Brahma Sahampati. He saw that the Supreme Buddha is not feeling like teaching what he realized. He is feeling discouraged. The Supreme Buddha is not willing to teach the Dhamma. And when Brahma Sahampati saw this, when he understood this, Brahma Sahampati got really worried. He thought, oh no, if the Supreme Buddha doesn't teach the Dhamma to the world, this world will be ruined. This world will be destroyed. And so, meritorious children, that Brahma Sahampati quickly came down to earth. And he went to visit the Blessed One. He went there, he worshipped the Blessed One, and standing on one side, Brahma Sahampati said, oh dear Blessed One, please teach the Dhamma that you have realized. Please, Bhante, teach the Dhamma that you have realized. O Sugato, O the well-gone one who has understood the path to true happiness. O Sugato, please teach the Dhamma. There are beings in this world who have very few defilements. What did Brahma Sahampati say? Brahma Sahampati said to the Blessed One, O Bhante, there are some beings in this world who have very few defilements. Now, meritorious children, what does it mean to have very few defilements? It means that some people in this world have very few desires. They have very little craving. But some people crave a lot. They have many desires. And some people in this world get angry a lot. They hate each other. They get angry constantly. But there are other people in this world who don't get angry. There are some people in this world who always have thoughts of loving kindness towards others. Not only that, some people in this world are very foolish. They don't understand the truth. But there are some people in this world who are very wise. They are very intelligent. This is what Brahma Sahampati meant. Brahma Sahampati saw that some people have very few defilements, and so if they get to hear the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma, then they'll understand the truth about life and they'll be able to escape from this long journey of birth and death. So Brahma Sahampati came and he told this to the Supreme Buddha. He said, "Oh Bhante, please teach the Dhamma. There are beings with few defilements who will be able to understand the Dhamma you're teaching." Brahma Sahampati said, "Oh Sugato," meritorious children, what does Sugato mean? We learned this in a previous episode. Sugata is one of the qualities of the Supreme Buddha. It means the Supreme Buddha found the only path, the direct path to true happiness. It's known as the Noble Eightfold Path. That's what it means for the Supreme Buddha to be Sugato. So Brahma Sahampati addressed the Supreme Buddha as Sugato. "Oh Sugato, please teach the Dhamma. You have escaped from suffering, but these beings in this world are filled with suffering. You have escaped from being reborn, but these beings in this world are being reborn again and again. You have escaped from aging and death. O Bhante, these beings in this world are suffering from aging and death. O Bhante, please help these beings escape from all sorrow." Brahma Sahampati invited the Supreme Buddha in this way. "O Bhante, climb up to the mansion of wisdom you have attained and look down at these beings who are filled with sorrow and help them to escape from all sorrow. In this way, meritorious children, Brahma Sahampati invited the Supreme Buddha. Brahma Sahampati said something else. He said, "O Bhante, all this time these beings learned an impure teaching that was taught by teachers who had impure minds." That means those teachers had minds filled with desire, jealousy, hatred and delusion. So Brahma Sahampati said, "O Bhante, but you have a pure mind. You have a pure heart, and the Dhamma, the teaching you realized is pure. So teach that pure Dhamma to these beings and help them to find true happiness." What do you think? Did Brahma Sahampati convince the Supreme Buddha? Meritorious children, our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, is very compassionate. He is the most compassionate being in this world. And so, he listened to Brahma Sahampati very carefully. And he didn't just agree. After listening to his invitation, our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, looked at this world with his divine eye. Now we have learned that our great teacher has amazing powers. He has something called the divine eye. So using that divine eye, the Supreme Buddha looked at this world. And the Supreme Buddha saw this world like a pond of lotuses. Now I'm sure you have seen lotus ponds. The Supreme Buddha saw that in a lotus pond there are some lotuses that are underneath the water. The lotus buds are underneath the water. And then there are some lotus flowers or buds that are just on the surface of the water. And then there are some lotus buds that have rose up from the surface of the water. When sunlight shines, what happens? Those lotus buds bloom. So just like that, the Supreme Buddha saw, it's true. Some people in this world have a lot of anger in their mind. They have a lot of desires and they are very foolish. But some people are very wise. Some people have the ability, have the intelligence to understand my teaching. And so if they hear the Dhamma, just like sunlight shining on lotus buds that have arisen up from the water surface, those people will be able to hear the Dhamma and realize the Dhamma and escape from this long journey of samsara. So the Supreme Buddha realized through his own knowledge that beings in this world have the potential, have the ability to understand the Dhamma. The Supreme Buddha saw, but if they don't get to hear the Dhamma, they'll be destroyed, they'll be ruined, they'll continue to suffer in this long journey of birth and death. And so, meritorious children, at that time, the Supreme Buddha said to Brahma Sahampati, "O Brahma Sahampati, I did not teach the Dhamma because I thought teaching the Dhamma would only exhaust me. It would only make me tired. But now I have realized that if I teach the Dhamma, these beings will realize the Dhamma. So I opened the door to Nibbana." What did the Supreme Buddha say? The Supreme Buddha said, "I opened the door to Nibbana, the door to true happiness. So may beings with ears listen with a pleasant mind." What did the Supreme Buddha say? The Supreme Buddha said, "Now I'm opening the door to true happiness. So may those beings with ears listen with what? Listen with a pleasant mind." Only when you listen with a pleasant mind can you understand the Dhamma. That's why the Supreme Buddha said to listen with a pleasant mind. So at that time, meritorious children, our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, determined that he will teach the Dhamma to this world. Meritorious children, imagine our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, decided not to teach the Dhamma. What would happen to us? We wouldn't know what's right from wrong. We wouldn't even know that we've been traveling in something called a sansara. We wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know that we've been reborn in bad worlds like the hell world, the ghost world, the animal world. We wouldn't know any of this. It was because our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, taught us this, that we know today that we are traveling a long journey of birth and death, where we have to go through a lot of sorrow and grief and unhappiness. So, meritorious children, when the Supreme Buddha decided to teach the Dhamma, Brahma Sahampati was very happy. He was very happy and satisfied that he invited the Supreme Buddha to teach the Dhamma. So he was joyous. He was very happy. He worshipped the Supreme Buddha, went around the Supreme Buddha once towards his right hand side, and then he disappeared back to the Brahma world. Meritorious children, so after deciding to teach the Dhamma to this world, the Supreme Buddha wondered, who am I going to teach the Dhamma first? The Supreme Buddha thought, I have realized the solution to this problem of birth and death. So who else was looking for the solution for this problem of birth and death? And he quickly remembered someone. Who do you think the Supreme Buddha remembered first? The Supreme Buddha remembered his past teacher that he went to, named Alara Kalama. Who did he remember? He remembered Alara Kalama. Now remember, meritorious children, you must remember who Alara Kalama is, because we learned it in a previous episode. What's special about Alara Kalama? Yes, after the Bodhisattva renounced the household life, remember he went in search of a teacher who would teach him the path to true happiness. And Alara Kalama was the first teacher he went to, looking to find true happiness. But was he able to find what he was looking for with the teaching of Alara Kalama? No, he wasn't. So when he realized that, he left Alara Kalama, but Alara Kalama was the first teacher he went to. So the Supreme Buddha thought, Alara Kalama is very intelligent, he's very smart, he has wisdom, he has very few defilements in his mind, he doesn't get angry a lot, he has very few desires, he's not foolish, he's very wise. So the Supreme Buddha thought, then Alara Kalama is... The Supreme Buddha thought, if I teach this Dhamma, then Alara Kalama will be able to understand it. But then, at that very moment, he heard a sound. The Supreme Buddha heard a sound saying, Oh Bhante, Alara Kalama died 7 days ago. Now this is the sound of a God telling the Supreme Buddha that Alara Kalama has died 7 days ago. Now the Supreme Buddha didn't just listen to that sound. He didn't just listen to the sound and agree with it. The Supreme Buddha, through his own wisdom, saw that Alara Kalama did die. Because remember, our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, has the divine eye. He has the ability to see the lives of beings. He has the ability to see the past lives of all beings in this world. The Supreme Buddha knows how beings are reborn and how they die. The Supreme Buddha has this ability as a knowledge. So the Supreme Buddha on his own realized that 7 days ago Alara Kalama died. So the Supreme Buddha thought, alright, then who am I going to teach the Dhamma next? And who did the Supreme Buddha think of next? What do you think? Yes, the Supreme Buddha thought of the second teacher. What was the name of the second teacher? Yes, it was Uddaka The Supreme Buddha thought Uddaka is also very intelligent. He is also wise. He also has very few defilements. Then I must teach this Dhamma to Uddaka Buddha. But then at that very moment, the Supreme Buddha realized Uddaka Buddha has also died the previous night. So now those teachers that the Supreme Buddha wanted to teach the Dhamma to, both of them have died. Now the Supreme Buddha wondered, alright, then who am I going to teach the Dhamma to next? In this way, the Supreme Buddha thought of another group of people to teach the Dhamma to. Now, meritorious children, in the next episode, we'll find out who those people are that the Supreme Buddha thought of next. So today we learned about how our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, got an invitation from Brahma Sahampati to teach the Dhamma, and we learned about how our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, saw this world like a lotus pond, and how the Supreme Buddha realized that there are beings in this world who have very few desires, who have very little anger, who are very wise in this world, and those people, if they get to hear the Dhamma, they'll be able to realize the Dhamma. So as a result, the Supreme Buddha decided to teach the Dhamma. So in the next episode, meritorious children, we'll continue to learn about what happened next. So until then, I want you to try to remember what we learned today, and I bless you. May you have the opportunity to realize the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.